Alrighty, folks, we're starting a brand new series called Ask the Millionaires. And today's question is, should you take a trip every 90 days? What say you, Jason?
I say absolutely yes. You have to have a plan, or with us, at least in our business, right? Sprints, and then you have time to break with your wife and stuff. So that's what we're doing right now with our plan. 90 days, every single 90 days we take a trip.
Jason, it's really easy for you to say take a trip every 90 days. You are a millionaire, a multimillionaire. But do you think this applies to folks that are just that are not there yet? Should they be taking a trip every 90 days?
I think it can, and it's all relative, right? So if you look at the types of trips that we're taking now, I don't think that applies towards everybody that's getting started for sure. But
Don't do that.
I would challenge people to go back, and you can look on some of my social media accounts. If you go to my Instagram, you can scroll to like 2017, 2018. I have a post where I set the intention that Jennifer and I were going to take a trip every single 90 days. We realized that was our time to pour back into our marriage. That was the time that we got to reconnect and invest into our relationship. And the trip doesn't need to be anything extravagant or crazy. It can be just a weekend getaway, right? We've always leveraged credit card points, and we talk a lot about that, right? Where we're not being extravagant and spending tons of money. And I think it starts and then it builds towards whatever you want it to build to after that. But for us, we have to do it. Otherwise, we talk about work-life balance a lot of times on your channel. And I don't believe in, shutting things off at 5 and then just hanging out after that. There's times and seasons of my business where we go through these crazy sprints. We just went through one right now, getting done with this event where it was a lot of 14, 15, 16-hour days. We're not taking weekends off. We're not doing anything. And then, we'll go take a trip for a week or two, right? And that's when we reset, recharge, and then we come back and we do it again.
Yeah, I just love this idea and mindset. And again, it doesn't have to be the, 10, 15, $20,000 trip every 90
Yeah.
days. It's just it's a way to reset and, stay connected with your loved one, your significant other. And I really love the idea of going hard. It's like you call it a sprint, right? You're going to go hard for a long time. Then you're going to you're going to, check out for a little bit, reconnect, check your orientation, make sure you're
Yeah.
going the right direction. You're, and then get after it. I love the idea of the 90-day thing. I mean, something Olivia and I did unintentionally is we always tried to make it a habit to have like sushi dinner Friday nights.
Yep.
I was all over the world doing this and that, trying to sell stuff, growing a portfolio, raising our daughter. And it was just a way that it was always something I knew when I was sitting in an airport in Germany or Sydney or, Chile, that I knew I was going to see Olivia Friday at 6 or 6:30. And I could always hold on to that. And it put a smile on my face lots of times. And I hate to fly, right? I just hate air travel. But, one of the ways I got through it is I knew that I was going home to her. And life is hard. Running a business is hard. Maintaining a relationship is hard. So you have to work on intentions. And I just love the framework that you and Jen have brought and share openly. Check out, it doesn't have to be long, a long weekend, an overnight in San Francisco. It's just wise advice.
I'd encourage you guys. For us, it's travel. So I know we're talking about this in the context of a trip every single 90 days, but guys, you need to understand, you need to figure out whatever travel is for Jen and I. You need to figure out what that is for yourself and insert that on a consistent basis. I think that's the overarching thing that we're trying to get to.
Consistency is key.
Right?
Yes.
So it can be anything, guys. It can be charity. It can be whatever. Insert whatever you guys want to do, but you need to figure out what it is. And for whatever reason, travel is that time where I can allow myself to unplug and not be always on thinking about the business all the time, right? And I think you need to have that. You need to find the outlet that allows you to kind of disconnect a little bit. So your life can be a little bit more fulfilled and we can focus on other things. And so for us, like I said earlier, that's how we reinvest back into our marriage. That's how we invest back into our relationship. It just gives me the opportunity to not be so driven with work. And I encourage you guys to figure out what travel is for you and do that consistently.
Yeah. And again, people got to realize that's where growth happens.
Yep.
Right. Even you, Jason, on the Mount Rushmore of real estate investors, for me, You can't run as hard as you do 365 days a year for a decade.
Mhm.
You
It's
will
impossible.
burn out. It's
Yeah, it
impossible.
is.
You can't work that hard. And the other thing I think about is, people who work out, you got to take some days off to grow. Growth
Yep,
happens on the days off.
that's right.
Muscles build on the days off, not when you're tearing them down. So, folks, find your thing. Is it a nice dinner? Is it a walk in the park? Is it a weekend hiking? I mean, whatever it is, I know not all of us have the stroke to do the big trips, but do your thing. Find your
That's right.
thing. And, that's where growth happens.
It's honestly, it's cool to hear you say that. I mean, we're going on 10 years in the business for me, right? And I feel like I'm legitimately just getting started. I feel like there isn't 1 ounce of me, Zuber, that is like, man, this is a grind, or man, you know what I mean? And and talking through this with you, it helps me realize that you have to give yourself time to reset, recharge. Like you said, that growth happens when you are resting and taking time off and self-reflecting and doing those things. And that's, I think, the big reason why I'm still here going as hard as I ever have been. You know what I mean?
And again, I want people to realize you're on my Mount Rushmore because you'll be doing this the next 10 decade or
Yep.
next decade. We know lots of people in this business that work harder than you, that work longer. They're grinding, trying to grind 365. They will burn out.
Hmm.
It just will. You can't burn the candle that way forever. So again, folks, find your thing. Is it a weekly dinner? Is it a monthly thing? Is it 90-day trip? Find your thing, unplug, and remember that's where growth happens. Jason, where can people find you?
JasonPritchard.com. Connect with me on there, guys. Tons of free tools and resources on our website available to you, and Instagram or Facebook if you want to follow along with what we're doing day to day in our business. Jason Pritchard on either one of those platforms.
You got it, buddy. You are amazing. Thank you.